Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 704. It's the Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Kharkov and it's under the command of Brit on the NA, God bless the USA. Okay, the supposed to be the replacement for the ISU-152. It was designed to be built based on the IS-2 and IS-3 hulls and developed in 1945. It's got a reasonable amount of sloped armour you can see at the front, which is actually designed to deflect shells that are fired at it. And there was only one prototype actually built, and it was actually based, well, it's his base now in Kubinka in the Russian Tank Museum in Moscow. It's quite an interesting design, and in fact actually you can see many of the design cues for this vehicle actually went into the Su-122-54, the later model that the Soviets did actually build. And we just got smacked by a Concept 1B for 398. That's not good. That's a 120mm shell. Now the top gun to this vehicle is the legendary BL-10 gun, which is 152mm in caliber, 750 alpha. That's the second shot the Concept's gone into us. I suspect he can see us actually, and that's why he's firing in this direction and getting accurate hits. Anyway, it's capable of doing 750 alpha and penetrating 286mm of armour with standard rounds, and Brit on the NA, God bless USA, does not fire premium rounds at all, and he got that one right on target and pulls back, just using the outline at the moment to try and work out where to put the shell. Yes, he doesn't use premium ammo because he believes he can do it with standard shells. It's difficult, but it can be done. He proves it time and time again. It's much easier to use premium rounds because of course it just gives you that extra penetration, but it does cost you. What it does do though is it makes it, if you use just standard ammunition, it does mean you have to work harder to get your result, which is kind of more satisfying, but then chances are you might not get the return. We just lost our Wizzy 120, which was the only guy who was holding those tanks down there back, and now they're coming forward. Now that looked as if it did hit the tortoise, but we lost sight of the outline just as we fired, and he's pulling back even further because that tortoise is getting rather close. It's a long reload. Went for the weak spot, didn't get it. By the book it's 16.4 seconds. Brit on the NA has got 14.19. He's got the side of the tortoise now, so he should be able to pen that. Oh! Not penetrated. That is really annoying. He's pulled back just about as far as he can, mainly because he might have to run for it if the enemy does come this direction in force, but also because that Concept 1B seemed to be firing inertially towards him really hard, getting them smack on target, and that shouldn't have been happening, so maybe he had an advantage. You can see where the shots went in. Okay, he's got the Emil, didn't pen. I think that actually hit the front of the turret, where the armor's quite strong. And it looks like some of the enemy tanks are going around him now to try and come this way. They're having to go through the first tunnel. The ISM's gone through there, and he's got wiped out. So maybe the enemy have actually got the Object 705 on their mind at the moment, and that's why they're not focusing on this direction. GSOR appears to be in a reload state. Oh, he's loaded now. So he's got 4 shots, he's fired 1. Yeah, he's firing towards the enemy tanks. They're actually coming out from the city centre. I don't think he can see anything that's ahead of us at the moment though. Oh, we can now, and it's a tortoise. Okay, so we've got a shot on the tortoise. Yes. That's good. That's very good. Yes, much better. And it's a high roll for 827. Yeah, the BL10 being on the Object 704 is a bit of an anachronism because it didn't appear on the 704. And he takes out the Concept 1B, which pays him back for those 2 shots where he managed to puncture Brit on the NA. Yeah, they never fitted the BL10 to the 704, so yeah, the 152mm gun that's on there is one of the other ones, but it's a tier 10 gun. Can't get a solution on TNH at the moment. He's actually within the buildings, or behind the buildings, so you're not going to get anything off that. The one you are going to get a hit on, though, is the Emil, who's getting rather close. And I think he's engaged with our Udis at the moment, and there he goes. So he's gone. We're 2 tanks down on the enemy, and it appears that there's only 1 enemy tank in the... Oh, there he is. There's the tortoise. Side onto us. Just shake to get the rescue on target. No, I think that hit the support next to the tortoise. He's just standing at the entrance. There it is. There you go. Yes, because there's half the building there. He's half in, half out. Ah, that's better. Got it this time. 574. We had to get close to do it. He didn't get spotted though. Interesting. Have to wonder how that Concept 1B managed to work out where he was. Could be just he had lucky shots. Now he's being cautious here for the moment, letting the Udos go down and have a quick look. Of course, there might be a tank destroyer down at the opposite side. TNH hasn't really moved. He's still sitting between the buildings. So Brit has decided he's going to go down and see if he can get an attack on that guy. It's also because the TNH now seems to be moving towards the trench, which means he might be on his way towards the cap. If so, then we might be able to intercept him either on this corner or closer to the cap area. There he is. Okay, hello. Lovely, beautifully done. Let it settle before he fired. Nice accurate little hit. Takes his damage up to 3,800, and oh, there was a Reveille nearby. Managed to bounce around off him, and that was a heat round as well. You can see where it actually hit. It deflected off the angled armour. Okay, he's only got 2 rounds of armor piercing left, and then he's got 14 rounds of HE. But remember, this is the 152mm gun, which means with a BL10 and HE rounds, you tend to do quite a bit of damage to the enemy, because the penetration on these HE is 90mm, and it'll do 950 alpha if it does penetrate. So yeah, you could deal almost as much damage as you would with the armor piercing rounds with HE. Obviously the HE rework has reduced the amount of damage that HE tends to do, but some of these enemy tanks can be penetrated with a 90mm of pen. Certainly the Borsig can, the GSOR can. The Kampfpanzer, I think you'd have to hit him in the rear to do that. The Reveille, you could definitely pen him on his rear and his sides. The Mauscher's the only one that really would be a bit of a problem with the HE rounds. So we're a bit of disadvantage at the moment. It's 3 versus 5. No sign of the Kampfpanzer. I think he's worried about being ambushed. the moment he turns up. 5 minutes to go. Yes, I think the although it wasn't accepted into service, the 704 did provide them with the design cues for the SU-122-54 based on the Type 50, the T-54 tank. The 704 passed the trials. It was actually quite a squat tank destroyer. As you can see, it's actually quite flat, very flat actually. And the idea was to make it much lower, so it's much more difficult to see, because the ISU-152 is quite tall, so it's fairly easy to spot. But this thing, it's got much better camo, and that means that it's much more difficult. I missed that. I will rewind that for you because I was waffling on. Yep. Don't like it when that happens. There was me waffling away and he spotted an enemy tank and put a big hole in them. And here he is. It's the Borsig. Hello, Mr. Borsig. 600 low roll. And there goes the Borsig, taken out by the Udas. Yeah, that'll pay me for actually talking when I should have been watching. Yes, the camo on this vehicle is really good actually, because it's so flat. But being it's flat means obviously the enemy might just aim low and fire in any direction, or the direction where they think you are, in the hope that they will hit you. So you do have to worry about an enemy just firing blindly. But it's got excellent DPM, the 704, high alpha. It's got fairly good acceleration as well. But the only bad time really is the long aim time on this gun. It is really, really long. It's got a poor traverse compared to other tank destroyers. As I said, I've mentioned the wide profile as well, and the top speed on this vehicle isn't that high. It's only 37 kilometers an hour. I mean, it does accelerate well, but it just doesn't have a very high top speed. The other thing you've got to worry about is being flat and squat like this. It makes it fairly a big target and a high priority target for Arty. You see a 704, you think, yeah, I can go for that. It's got 120mm of armour on the front, 90 on the side, 60 on the rear, and a big flat engine deck, which makes it a very easy target to hit if an RC does spot you. And the Malshin's coming. He's only got one round of AP left. He's loaded it, ready to go. And the Malshin is very low on hit points. An HE round right now might finish him off. And there's only 2 minutes to go. They've been playing very defensively because they've been outnumbered. And here comes the GSOR. He spotted us. Yeah, he doesn't want to pop his head up because he knows that a BL-10 will finish him off. The enemy does have a hit point advantage over us. Somebody's capping. Now, Kampfpanzer. There's the GSOR. Whoever's capping needs somebody from his team to join him in the cap. It's the Reveillerise, and he's a one-shot. The GSOR is not a one-shot, but he's... The thing is, he does have fairly thin armour, so he would take a big hit. Yeah, there you go. He's out the game. And now he's got 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he might actually be able to get a high caliber. Oh! And I'm afraid he gets taken out by the Malshin. Well, the enemy's capping, but I don't think they can finish the cap off. And I don't think they can get any other tanks near the cap in time to win the game. It's the Rebel Restate that's in the cap. We still don't know where that Kampfpanzer is. And it looks like this one's going to be a draw. Well, nice try. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker for Brit on the NA. God bless USA. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, and also a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he got 5 exactly, but he did get the high caliber because he dealt the most damage in the game. And of course that shot at the last shot on GSOR, which wiped him out completely, tipped him over the top to actually get the highest damage. His win rate from the game 6,970, which is super unicum standard. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to stop that Martian getting a shot into him. And as I say, the armour on the sides and the rear of this vehicle, well, even on the front of the vehicle, isn't that strong. And the Martian was able to get a kill shot. So sadly, this one is a draw. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he's top on the table on damage with 5,296. The nearest player to him was the GSOR on the enemy team, 2,681. Followed by the Udis 16 on his own team with 2,388, and that was followed by the Udis on the enemy team with 2,271. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those. He got 4 kills, 3 kills went to the Udis, 2 kills went to Leopard prototype on his own team, the GSOR, the Kampfpanzer 50 ton, and the TNH 105. And when it came to base XP, we can see that, yes, because it was a draw, he did actually get the highest base. 631 went to Brit on the NA. 550, actually it's 578 on the GSOR. He got second place, and third place would go to our GSOR with 555. There was a medal for the Martian. He managed to get a Spartan in that game as well. 17 shots fired, 11 direct hits, 8 penetrations on the enemy. 5,296 hit points of damage, of which 724 were at more than 300 meters. 6 hits received, 5 penetrations, 1 non-penetrations, yet the armor isn't that great, even though it's angled at the front. And you hope that the enemy will actually fire at the angled plates and it will bounce off. But of course the Concept 1B did get 2 nice shots into him, and they both went through places where he could pen. And then I'm afraid the Martian was able to finish him off towards the end. Okay, 390 hit points damage blocked by armor, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and he got 43 defense points when he reset the cap. 32,377 credits on a standard account, 3,348 for courageous resistance. That's because he got an epic medal or battle hero medal in a losing or drawn game. This was a draw. 35,725 credits altogether, but after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he actually made a small loss. Unfortunately, in this game, it was 8,900 credits. Well, 990 actually as well. He got 25 bonds for mission completion, 631 base XP, 362 for courageous resistance, took away 993 experience points altogether. So yes, and it was, I think the game was, it was made worse by that Concept 1B getting 2 good shots into him right at the start of the game. Made it difficult for Brits, and of course he had to burn all those AP rounds to try and penetrate the heavily armoured tanks that were coming through the city centre area, and that left him with very few AP rounds left towards the end of the game. I think also it helped the enemy that he was fairly easy to see, because there was no cover for him to sit behind on that corner right at the end. So even with his great camouflage, they knew where he was, and they just had to tempt him to come out to try and hit something in the cap and then try and put a round into him when he did. So it didn't work out well this time round, but he did get the high caliber. So it shows that you can earn a high caliber with standard ammunition. You just need to put the shell in the right place. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to my channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do let other people know that this channel exists and that we've got a sister channel called The General where you can watch great replays without any commentary whatsoever. Thanks for watching.